These bloody goats. Get into it. Come on. Cool. Leave it. Leave it. Gary. Out of your pace. Back on. Right, we're taking you back because you're a bloody nuisance. Get out of your pace. Bloody goats. So we're using the trailer and the tractor with the forks, so we get some on the front and some on the back. We're stacking it. It's hot work, it's heavy work, but it's quite rewarding too. Worst thing for me is I get hay fever. It makes me sneeze a lot. But other than that, we're going to get this paddock done pretty much in, we'll have it done within an hour. Right down the bottom of my paddock, see the other boys are getting my hay in. Well, I help Murray get his in. And we've still got a bit to do here on Murray's paddock too. G'day brothers. Here, pull up a chair beside me and the occasional sister joining us today on the Broadcheck Club. I've been doing hay all day and I'm a bit rooted. Sore hands, a few cuts. I actually was helping my neighbour out with his hay too, and I ripped me bloody good mountain bike pants. I got caught up on a pallet on the tractor and he was dragging me backwards. I was hooked up by my britches. I was going, whoa, slow down, slow down. Nearly turned pear-shaped. My good pair of pants, and I've buggered them, but that's what happens to wear your good pants when you're working. I'm a bastard for doing that. I just tear into a job. These are my mountain bike pants, but hey, no grizzles, it could have been a lot worse. Anyway, here's a wee song. I've been working in the hay all day long. Thought I'd sit down on the veranda here and sing you a song. For people working hard every day, but just for this one I've been up picking up hay, singing. Working on the field sure feels good to me. I'm happy to be working, it sets my spirit free, yeah. It's such a blessing to be able to work, 'cause one day my hands will not work no more. One day my back and legs will be so sore. One day my back and legs will be sore. They're already bloody sore. How you doing? I'm doing well myself. I'm doing well, and I really appreciate having the health to be able to do something. And there's those of you watching right now that could be in a hospital somewhere, or you could be just down on your luck where you can't even get your head to work. That's a bastard, so I get that. So I'm really grateful just to be able to work. And being sore is a real small price to pay for not being able to even work. And yeah, hats off to anybody out there that has got a disability and they're going, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And there's plenty of you out there that have got things against you and you're still getting on with it. So hats off to you guys that are going hard out, that have a few challenges and you're keeping it to yourself and you're just toiling on. I bet there's plenty of you watching this right now that are doing some sort of job or do something somewhere where life is really, really hard and just quietly suffering, but keeping it to yourself. And that's what you got to do. You got to endure shit. Not grizzle about it, just endure it, because we all have our fair share of challenges and suffering. And it could be something small or it could be something really big. But either way, that's what you got to do, is keep on going and not become the problem that you have, not become your disease or become your lack of. Don't define yourself by that. That's just something that you just get that shit out of the way and keep on going, and you'll get to where you're going. You might just get there a little bit slower and it may be a bit more uncomfortable on the way, or there may be some pain involved, or there may be some frustration, or there may be some things that are really difficult, really challenging. but you're still going to get there in the end. That's a journey for all of us, isn't it? How we go. Now today, I had some people want to come and see me. Because at this time of year, it's Christmas time, and people come up to Mapua to go on holiday. People from Christchurch come up here, or people from Auckland, they come down here. And a few people think, oh, go and see old Clay, because we know he's in Mapua. So they contact me on the day, and they say, hey bro, we were in Mapua, and love to come and see you and catch up, always wanted to meet you. And I love to meet people that are of the same like-minded as myself, and we can share ideas and crunch ideas, but also like my own space, and I can also be really incredibly antisociable as well. And they called me up today, and at first of all I thought, they've come a long way, they've looked forward to seeing me. I've only just found out they want to see me, and I've got a whole lot of hay I've got to pick up, and I want to help Murray, my neighbour, with his hay, because he's got no one to help him. And I'm not going to even tell them that. I just said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see you today, sorry. Because that's the thing, you see, you don't have to justify yourself to anybody if you don't want to see them or don't want to do something. Don't feel that you've got to always have a story to why you can't do something. Someone says to you, hey, Mac, can you help me unload the trailer next door here? I'm just by myself right now. If you've got a really sore back, or you've got sciatic pain, and you'd like to help them, but that's stopping you, you don't need to tell Mac, hey Mac, man, I'd love to help you, but I've got the sciatic pain. Just say, bro, I'm sorry, but I can't. That's enough. You don't need to justify things as you go through life. You don't need to make reasons why you can't do stuff, because that's your personal business. You don't need to tell what it is that's your challenge that's stopping you from doing something. And I need to tell these people, hey, look, I'd love to see you, but I've got hay making, because tomorrow I'll have a little bit of, I'm doing hay next door tomorrow as well, but it's just, you don't have to. People don't need to know all your reasons. There's no need to justify yourself. And the same thing could be to someone you don't want to hang out with anymore. Sorry, bro, I can't hang out with you right now. Well, why is that? You just can't. It's not that you got a smelly breath, or I think you talk funny, or you waste my time. You don't need to tell them that. Just don't. Again, you have to justify yourself. And often we think we've got to justify our reasons. I'm sorry, boss, I'm leaving the job. You're handing your notice in. Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving, mate? I'm just leaving. You don't need to justify yourself. You're the boss of you. There are some things in life you do have to justify. And this is when it involves your family and your loved ones. And that's when it's really important. But from day-to-day stuff, no, you don't. You don't. And I don't feel I need to justify a lot of things I do these days as I move through. I have people in the comment section sometimes ask me questions. I generally try to get around most of them, but there's a lot of them I'm just not going to answer, because I don't have to justify why I'm doing something. It's food for thought, because we're in a society where often we think we have to, and you just don't. Anyway, I'm going to pause for a moment, and I'll come right back. Right, I'm back. I just had a slice of pineapple, now it's good, and a nice brew of dandelion root tea. Josh put me onto that a few months back, and I've been drinking ever since. The good old Kiwi Bushman. Anyway, I thought rather than make this Bro Check Club video just about something that you don't have to do, because it gets a bit boring hearing about things, what you got to do. I can still hear the guys working on my hay. They're still doing it down there. My day's done. I'm rooted. Anyway, I want to tell you a story about my dad. I'll tell you a couple of things about my dad, which are interesting things. My dad was a real interesting character. He was a really good fighter when he was younger. Much stronger man than me. Way stronger. He used to be a boxer, a wrestler, a scrapper. Bit of attitude, really. He was Mr. Nelson at one stage, or Mr. Tahuna Nui, because he also did bodybuilding, but not the bodybuilding you see today. No steroids, no, he was just fucking strong. He looked like Atlas. I came out like a runt. I got told when I was younger I had the frame to be a bodybuilder, but I didn't want to be a bodybuilder. But Dad had muscle you could use. He was real strong. He used to be able to do the crucifix, and he'd hold himself in the two rings and hold his arms like that and just lift his legs right out in front of him. Now, I've seen photos of him, and it's incredible, really. But today he's still alive, but he has a balance problem. He falls over all the time. The last part of his life's been horrible. He's been basically can't focus properly. He's got a neurological... Something's not right. don't know what caused it. But anyway, let's go back a few years to when he was young. He's working in the foundry. He worked at Norder and Biddle and also in Anchor and Dorman here in Nelson. And on his apprenticeship, he was working one day with a coal chisel, and he only just started, and he had his engineer's hammer, his wee chisel, and he was going tap, 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 just quietly. And his boss comes over to him, he goes, you don't just like tap, 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 get stuck into it, now make every blow count. Bang, 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 and on the third one he missed, and he took the hammer, and it went right across the top of his knuckles, taking all the skin off. And Dad said he felt it when he saw the guy do it, and the guy, of course, had to keep face, and he went, oh yeah, get that sometime, and he carried on, and all the blood was dripping down off his hand, and he's like, you can see the pain, but he was holding it firm, not showing it, and he gave the cold chisel back to my father, and my father just looked at him and went, tap, 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 and the boss said nothing at all. He was just like, yeah, he could see why. So sometimes these things happen where someone's like trying to put something onto us, and nothing they can say or do is going to make us actually do it after we see what can happen, in the case of what happened here. Now, another interesting thing was a guy called Red that Dad fought with that week. And this guy phoned me up about 3 years ago. He's obviously still alive. He was known as Red. He was a big guy. He was a lot bigger than my father. And I can't remember if Dad was younger than him or older than him. I think Dad might have been a year older, but they just didn't get on. They were always like, Dad was kind of hard on him, and this bigger guy, because he was a big guy, didn't like being told what to do. A mild man would never step down. So they end up having a scrap to sort it out. Now, I've heard lots of versions of this fight. It's a pretty famous fight. I've heard it from my Uncle John Bailey, who's now deceased. He saw it because he worked there. I've heard it from a guy called Alan that recounted it pretty much the same way as John recounted it. So those heard, but I also heard another version where my old man was an absolute animal and cleaned this guy up. But this guy actually phoned me about 3 years ago, and if he's watching this, g'day mate, I forget your name, I only know you's Red, but he phoned me up about 3 years ago. He says, you don't know me, but I've been trying to chase your dad up. This is like 70 years later, or 65 years later, because this dad's now 85, and he was like 15 when he's there, so it's 60 years ago. And he said, I've been trying to chase, well, Dad would have been 16 actually, would have been 16 or 17. But anyway, this guy's trying to chase up my dad, and he said, I've been trying to find out where your dad is. And I said, yeah, Dad's still alive. And he gave me his number. He said, can you get your dad to contact me? I'd love to catch up with him. This is the guy that had the scrap. Now, the scrap went like this. The two men were fighting, and eventually neither of them backed down. They were both going like punch for punch at the end, like one punch and then another punch. And they just were relentless, and neither bloke was going to submit to the other guy. And eventually they both were absolutely exhausted. It was just like the last punch. And one thing my dad taught me to do, which is a stupid thing really when I look back, was to never give up in a fight. It didn't serve me well at all, not even slightly. There's times where I should have given up and backed. You always get back up, son. Someone knocks you down, you always get back up. Yeah, right, Dad. Front teeth missing, scars for life, lips, face. Yeah, nah. Sometimes it's good actually to say, okay, bro, you got me, I'm stuffed, and walk away. In fact, I recommend in any physical fight situation, what all of you men should do is just run. If there's anything I learnt when I was doing my little bit of martial arts I do, is just to get out of a fight. Don't get into a fight. It's the best thing you can do. Run, sprint, get away from it. Because there's nothing to gain. Even if you beat the guy, you still don't gain anything. Dad was a colourful bloke. He later became, after that job, a marine engineer. He worked on the scows, and then he became a ranger, and then he became the skipper of a boat, and then he became like the skipper, the ranger, and the marine engineer on the boat that was in Fiordland. And then he came up to here, up to Mapua, where he built the flat bottom floozy, the first ferry, which is now parked here. He built the Mapua ferry, and he bred Labradors for a lot of years. And I still go and see my dad regularly. Anyway, brothers, just a short story. Hope it finds you well. And I'll catch you in the next Broachy Club video. See you later.